Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining our Getting Started with Bartender webinar. Our topic for today's session will focus on how to design and print labels from anywhere, anytime using BarTender Cloud. As we get you all settled in before we get started, I do have a few housekeeping items. The first of which is that this presentation will all be in English today. And then the session is also being recorded. The recording will be shared with you as well as today's presentation when we are finished. And I believe we have many of you already settled in, so I think we can probably get started. So again, I just want to say thank you all for joining today's session. My name is Ryan Rodriguez, and I am a Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Siegel. And with me today is our Senior Sales Engineer, Roberto Posada, who will be providing us with the demo of BarTender Cloud from the walkthrough. Um, we have a full agenda today. We're first going to provide a quick overview of BarTender for those who may not be super familiar with our products. And then Roberta will be taking the wheel to show us the interface of BarTender Cloud and how we can start printing our first label in only a few minutes. And then we're going to finish up on with our Q&A, where we're going to try to answer as many questions as we have time for today. If you do have any questions during the presentation, please use the Q&A function in Zoom, and that is where we will be looking for the questions. And so with that, let's get started. But before we get into all things bartender, I do want to quickly just address, what is currently happening in the supply chain today. It's no secret that our supply chains have been getting more intricate and complex over the years, from adding new suppliers, new ways of transporting goods, and so on. There's just a lot of moving parts. And as supply chains are becoming more intricate and trying to meet those customer expectations, those customers are continuing to demand more and more, leading to major challenges across industries. You're expected to accomplish more with fewer hands to support you. You're having to work with little to no certainty of your inventory. And between all of that, you need to quickly resolve those disruptions as they arise. And so this is why it's more important than ever to ensure that your operations are flexible and stable so that you can stay competitive in the market. And it really starts with your labeling. You may not realize, but labels are at the heart of the supply chain. They let us know everything from where raw materials were sourced to the contents of an order. They help us build our bills of lading, verify our pick lists, and so much more. And without that proper labeling, we would have little to no information and have greater difficulty getting our products to market. And all this is really to say that labeling is digital intelligence. And that's where Bartender comes in, because Bartender enables that digital intelligence to help you build a smarter supply chain. We support over 250,000 customers across over 175 countries who all rely on Bartender for our ready-to-use label design tools, our anywhere, anytime printing, and our industry-leading flexible integrations and database connections. But Bartender is more than just a labeling software. It offers a complete ecosystem of labeling experts, from printer manufacturers to business applications to even our partner resellers. We work with industry leading partners to ensure you build the labeling solution that best fits your business needs, no matter where you function within the supply chain. And Bartender is only one arm of Siegel Software, focusing on printer management, serialization, and creating digital identities to enable precise labeling and tracking from the start. Meanwhile, Mojix complements this by providing complete item level visibility across the entire supply chain, ensuring traceability and transparency from source to shelf. And by combining these expertise together, Siegel supports your business by enabling operational intelligence and efficiency for managing your assets across the supply chain. And that's a little bit about Bartender and Siegel overall. But with that, I'm going to pass it over to Roberto to walk us through Bartender Cloud.
Thank you very much, Ryan. I am going to take over the screen team. Please, team, if you have questions today, you have us for the rest of the webinar. And go ahead and pop your question in the Q&A function so we could go ahead and help you out and answer those questions you might have around the product. And everybody, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the part of the world or the region of the world you're listening to us. I want to thank you for joining us today. And we are going to showcase and talk about BarTender Cloud. BarTender Cloud is our true SaaS solution, Siegel product. Here we could see the main interface. Notice I am doing this from a browser since it's a SaaS product. This is the interface. It is a web-based interface. We could see, my welcome message letting me know, hey, Roberto, letting me know what organization I belong to as well. Lets me know my print activity, total printed items, if there's items with warnings, what happened if there's error messages, how many items I'm printing per day. We could take a look at the recently printed items. We get a picture of the labels that are being used with the organization as well. Gives us quick access like Librarian, which is our document management system. This is where you manage all your files. Obviously, the designer, you have the capability of designing and creating your labels. That is more than obvious. Um, and then we could take a look at, with a SaaS product team, keep in mind that we are the ones responsible for uptime. We are the ones responsible for maintenance. We are the ones responsible that this product runs smoothly, correct? So it is a good place to bookmark if you decide to purchase cloud is our status page. It lets you know the status of the product. It lets you know when we're going to have scheduled maintenance. These are emailed and notified ahead of time so you could prep for these downtimes. But overall, it gives you an idea of if the product is up or not. The reality is we are trying and we are doing our best at 99.999, but it is a product that is cloud dependent, internet dependent. So it's always a good idea to take a look at this and understand where we're at. The other great page here is our help site. Everything BarTender Cloud is here. Getting started with cloud and then go component by component. I wish I had enough time to do it all today. I just don't. But the idea today is show you how easy it is to create a label, how easy it is to use an Excel file that you have on-prem, how easy it is to use a logo. So the first thing we'll do is go into Librarian. Within Librarian, we are looking at an administration view here, administrator view, okay? This is why I'm able to see all of my folders. I'm able to see my spaces. I'm able to create folders. I'm able to create files. I'm able to upload files. Of course, you in the future, you might want to create a file and then give it access to your print operator. There is a print console that does not have this functionality as administrator, simply there for you to navigate, click, and print. Now, we're going to go back to Librarian, and the idea today is to create a label for Siegel software. My IT department is asking me for a label for asset control. He has an Excel file he would like to leverage and a logo he wants to add. He's giving me a template of the label, so we're going to go in and build that for him. The first thing we'll do is create a folder, and we're going to call it Getting Started with Cloud. So this is the Getting Started for Cloud, and we are going to modify this and give permission to a specific group or user. In this case, I'm going to say it's custom. We're going to remove permission for all, and we're going to create a new permission. And that could be an active user. That could be a user that we have invited, or that could be a group of users. So I'm going to say the SIG members, which is all of the SCs, and this includes IT for this label. We're going to say has permission to view, create, and delete. So we're going to give them full permission. We're going to save, and that's how easy it is to establish permissions within Cloud. I want to change the color so IT knows what color that folder is. We'll do green. And there we go. We have a green folder. They know that that's where their specific label will be. Now, for BarTender Cloud, before we get into the label portion, BarTender Cloud has the capability of uploading labels that you created with BarTender. But at the same time, it has the capability of uploading, in this case, an Excel spreadsheet that we're planning on using. It has the capability of uploading a logo we're planning on using. So we're going to go and say, upload those to the cloud. And similar as that is if you're an existing bartender customer and considering cloud, that is how easy it is to upload your existing labels and then modify them from the cloud. Now we have our Excel, we have our logo. Now with cloud, you could create a template via the template library. All of these templates come included with the cloud product, similar to on-prem. They are identical. So we are at 351 templates. So if I really wanted to use an asset label, I could just pick one from here and do not have to start from scratch, right? But the idea today is not just that, it's the fact that I want to create the label using Designer. So we're going to click on Document Design. We're going to call it Cloud. We're going to click Design. What's going to happen, it's going to open a new screen, okay? And what's happening here, it's opening our designer, our famous design. What you see on-prem is what you're going to get in the cloud as well. Now, this is why the cloud designer will take a couple seconds to load because it's very, very resource intensive. It has all of these amazing tools that we're used to when we're doing stuff on-prem. Now, think about this. We've taken this to the cloud. It has the same look and feel and experience as on-prem. So you think you're on-prem, but you're truly in a web browser. Now we're going to say, we could see all of the printers I have available. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to say PDF. We're going to keep it simple. We're just going to go through the wizard. We're going to say it's a 4x2 label. We're going to say it's full media page. And we're going to click next and we're going to click finish. And boom, that brings us to our label, right? Now, the first thing we'll do is add the logo. Add the logo from where? Well, that file lives in Librarian within my cloud. So it's in main. These are spaces, by the way. So you might have different spaces for different parts of the organization, something that you can modify from cloud because everything is done from cloud. So we're going to say main. We're going to do the getting started with cloud. I see my logo there, and then I'm bringing in my logo. See how easy that is? Just bringing and attaching a file that's in your cloud that you uploaded. So it's no different from using your on-prem. Now it's more that you could do this from cloud. So we're going to create some delimitations here. If I could pronounce it correctly. A bit nervous here, but it's okay. So we're going to say shrink, and we're going to click escape. So now we have a couple lines that are covering our label. We're going to fix this one. Bring it over there. So it's in the design area, so I don't have an error. Probably BarTender, if I print that, BarTender will tell me, hey, you have something that's overlapping. It's not going to print. And we know it's not going to print. It's a line, BarTender, so relax. Okay, now the next thing we'll do is bring in a couple of data elements, right? We want to identify what the label is. So we're going to say, well, the first thing we'll do is this is going to be called an asset tag. The second thing we'll do is we are going to name who does this belong to. In this case, it belongs to Siegel Scientific or Siegel Software, and then we'll do that. So the first element, I'm not going to go ahead and type this because I don't have time. I really want to cover as much ground as possible. So we're going to say this is an asset tag. We're going to not close because I want font and I want to do black on white. This allows me to create this effect that I think looks pretty darn cool. Now we're going to go then copy as well the information for, in this case, and I'm going too fast, any object you put in BarTender will allow you to double click on it or right click on it and go into properties. And then we're able to go and adjust the display text on that text object. So now we have Siegel property as well here. Who does it belong to? Now, the rest of the information that IT is requesting is coming directly from that spreadsheet. So what we'll do here is connect my spreadsheet to the label. Now, BarTender Cloud has the capability of using, in this case, a spreadsheet, JSON, TXT files that contain all your records, and you're able to upload them. Or you could simply connect to an Excel online, connect to any other, or like an Oracle, a Google Sheet, a SQL, Azure, and then other databases as well, right? Keeping it simple for you because as you know, our mantra is give me your data now, we will print it for you. So obviously we need to give you that capability. So now we have Excel file that we want to leverage. Again, it's in main. It is under the getting started folder, and it's the getting started asset Excel file. So we're going to click next. We're going to click next again. And this is going to go through the wizard and connect us to the Excel spreadsheet. And I'm going to click finish. And as simple as that, I'm able to see now my table. I'm able to see my fields. I'm able to browse my records. And then I could see all of the records that I have here, which is a total of 26. Perfect. Gives me product, gives me product code, G10 and serial number. Lot. Okay, so we're going to go and build this label now. Now, what we need, the first piece is we need, in this case, the product. What product is it? Well, it's a Lenovo PC ZX55. I don't want to see that. I want to see the field because I know it is product that I'm bringing in. Notice that I'm reconnecting and disconnecting from the database. Okay. The next piece would be a barcode that I'm going to include. Yes, BarTender Cloud gives you the capability of bringing in barcodes similar to the on-prem. So we're going to say it really depends which one you want to use. Today we're going to go after a specific one, which is a GS1 data matrix, very popular because of the amount of data you're able to put inside of the barcode. Now, we're going to go and use GS1 application wizards because I want to show you how easy that is to put together. GS1 is a very important piece of these barcodes, right? We need to comply with these standards. So having a wizard that helps us comply with these standards is very, very, very cool. So we're going to say instead of, application identifier manually and doing all this manually, no, get the assistant to help you with this. So we're going to say the first one I need is G10. Okay, where's the G10 data coming from? That's coming from a database that the field is G10. Then we're going to go and add another one. If you do not know the application identifier, you could simply type it in. Say lot. Yeah, I need lot now. We're going to do next. Lot always comes from the database. I just need to point it to the right, in this case, row, or field, I'm sorry, column is lot. I'm going to say next. We're going to add the last one, which is going to be our lot. And we'll say lot, there it is. Did I do lot? Yeah, I did lot into one. So it's serial that I'm missing. So serial. And this is the application identifiers always help out, right? 101 is G10, 10 is lot, 21 is serial number. Serial number is coming from database and is a serial. And then we are done with our barcode. Look at that. That's a GS1 barcode that is pulling the G10, the batch, and the serial number using the GS1 format. Now I'm going to format this barcode and I'm going to say I want it here on the right side and I want to break them up per line. So I'm going to say right side, line break after each application identifier. And the other thing too, does it fit? Yeah, it looks okay. So I don't even have to modify the font. We could do that if we wanted to. So we might do 18, we might go up, we might go down. It really depends on how you want the label to look over. Obviously, we don't want any data overlapping. So just for aesthetic purposes, we're going to leave it here. Now, the last piece, because I want the product code as well, would be in a QR code. That is what I've been asked. So we're going to say QR code. And the reason I'm using the QR code is because it's a code that we're all familiar with. Since COVID, all of us are used to now scanning a QR code and getting into our menu at a restaurant, ordering tickets, or a lot of the ordering pieces are done through QR code. So obviously we have that capability as well. So we're going to say, in this case, look at this. I'm simply dragging the product code and saying, I want that product code to go there. So now we have our label built. And we could connect the data to take a look at it as we navigate. And it's always a good idea to navigate to take a look at what's going on. I'm leaving the human readable so you could see the data that is different from this to this, and then we could see how this is changing too. And it's dynamic. It's a very dynamic label. Now, we are going to create something really cool today as well, is we're going to add a data entry form. And the reason I'm doing this is because IT might decide and say, hey, I want to pick a record instead of printing them all. And that's okay. We're going to go and create a form. We have the capability of creating a form that allows us to capture data before print time. In this case, we are going to select between all of those records, which one do I need to print? So we're going to say, perfect. Isn't that simple? I think it is. So we're going to expand it a little over here. Stop playing around too much with my mouse. Have it ready to go, and that's my label. So now we're going to go and click print. Why do I do this? Not just simply save and then go back from the console. No. If I click print, it saves the changes, and it brings the print console for me automatically. Now, something I do want to mention before I print. I told you with Cloud, you don't have to install anything. Now, the reality is you don't. If you print directly to PDF, then you really don't leverage anything. But obviously, you probably want to use your local printers, right? You could see my local printers here. This is my local printer list. These are external printers. Now, for me to leverage my local printers, I must install what we call the Print Gateway service. This is the service that enables the communication between the local printer and BarTender Cloud. You could get more information from our website, but I do want to highlight this because this is a fundamental portion of getting local printing happening. This could only be installed on Windows machines. Now, we're going to click print today because I want you to see this PDF being generated. So we're going to say print, and look at that. It brings our data entry form with all of our labels. And we're going to say, look, IT, I'm going to print them all for you. You might need some later. And of course, there was a hiccup. And I think I know where the hiccup is. So we're going to close this down. We're going to go back to the template. And I think it has to do with my spreadsheet. So we're going to click and upload that. Simply upload. It isn't a problem. We're going to say Seagull Assets, this one. We're going to go back to the cloud. And what we're going to do here is simply replace the database with that new one, because I do want you to see the print. And I know we're running out of time, Ryan. Just give me a couple seconds. We're almost there. I do want them to see the print. So we're going to say main, back to the getting started with cloud, Seagull Assets. Next, 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 next. Give me all the way to the finish line. I don't have to remap everything. Well, I kind of have to remap this because we're going to have to make sure that's the product code. So we're going to record browse, and we're going to use, let me see, which one could we use for this one? We're going to use the serial again because I don't have that specific field, which is okay. And then you could see this barcode's already built, so that one is okay. That one didn't change that much. You could see how it's being moved around. Now we're going to click on the print. This will save those changes with the new asset spreadsheet, allowing me to then now click print, and we're going to do a print all of them. And this would now give me an error message and actually generate my PDF. And we're going to go and click print this time. And fingers crossed, there's no issues, just a joke. It was a little too big. That's why there's multiple warning messages, but it did generate my PDF, which is called Cloud. And now we could see all of our asset tags here. And most likely, remember that line that we kind of overlapped? I think that is the one that BarTender is complaining about. That's an easy fix, but overall, this is how you are able to create a folder, upload your files, create a new label, connect it to that spreadsheet, and get a cool print like this and printing your asset tags. Team, that was the portion of the demo today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If you have questions, please use our Q&A function. Ryan will take over and bring us to the finish line. Thank you.
Wonderful. No, great demo and walkthrough, Roberto. That was awesome. Now, I just want to again say that everything we just saw was from BarTender Cloud, our cloud-based labeling solution. However, BarTender does offer other deployment options that are flexible and scalable, so you can build the labeling solution that's right for your business. Whether you're looking to print labels locally from the cloud or any hybrid combination, we have you covered. With BarTender Cloud, you can expect ease and flexibility through simple setup and deployment with minimal software installation, which means you can minimize your IT infrastructure and resources with a zero footprint solution. Our industry leading BarTender Designer, as you just saw, is also available in the cloud so that you can design labels anywhere, anytime. and you can improve overall collaboration with your external party partners and suppliers by giving them user-specific access to your label templates. But on the other end, we do have Bartender software, which our on-premise solution, which does offer enterprise level security and control by enforcing team accountability with enhanced revision control and role-based permissions, enabling traceability with comprehensive logs and records of critical label printing activities for your audit and compliance purposes, minimizing risks of poor internet performance so you don't have to worry about that when designing and printing labels locally, and improving disaster recovery with automatic printer failover support to ensure uninterrupted print production. But regardless of whether you choose one solution or combine both solutions, you can still expect to receive the highest level of quality for your labeling, as both options still empower your teams to easily design labels with minimal training needed, centralize your label template management to ensure teams operate using the same labels across your operations, print anywhere, anytime from the devices that they use every day. You can continue to automate your label printing workflow with flexible custom integrations and connections. And most importantly, we ensure bulletproof performance and availability regardless of which solution you choose. This is something that we pride ourselves on because it's exactly what our customers expect. And if you choose BarTender Cloud, everything we did walk through today is available across both BarTender Cloud plans. BarTender Cloud is available in two plans that can support any business of any size across any industry. The lower plan is Essentials, which offers right out the box label design and printing tools to help you get started in minutes without any additional IT resources. So you can design from anywhere, anytime, centralize your label document management, and easily connect to your databases with the built-in template assistant. Meanwhile, automation expands on those capabilities to enhance the flexibility of your labeling operations, which can be seen through custom integrations, including the Bartender REST API, to automate your label printing activities. There's also increased version control of your files and documents with the Workflow Designer that's also available in the cloud, enhanced user and team permissions, and dedicated spaces to make sure that your teams are working with only the files that are relevant to what they are doing on a day-to-day basis. There's also increased storage, as you see, and the availability of 24/7, 365 premium support. So, but if you're not sure which plan is best for your application, we're more than happy to help you. But please stay tuned for more of our Getting Started with Bartender webinars, where we'll continue to explore more of Bartender's capabilities and show you how to build a smarter labeling operation. And so with that, with the few minutes that we have, I think it's time that we can now move in to our Q&A. So I'm going to shift gears here. Roberto, I know one of the big questions that we are getting is what printers can be used with Bartender Cloud? Is there a difference between the on-prem and the cloud solution?
Hey team, honestly, what printers could be used? That is always a real good question, regardless if it's on-prem or cloud. And the reality is that there's no printer known to man that we're not able to use. I'm able to say that with confidence because Siegel Software manufactures printer drivers for all of the major players. So I think whatever printer you're using, if you're using the Windows driver, cloud is going to be able to leverage it. If you want to use our Siegel driver, you could go download for free, and it's gonna even work better with our cloud product than our on-prem product because it's designed to work with our products. But the idea is that as long as there's a Windows driver that you're using for that printer, cloud will be able to use it. So regardless of the printer manufacturer, there as long as there's a driver, we got you covered.
Awesome. There's also a few questions regarding different installation, so the first one we'll ask regarding installation is, do I still need to install the Bartender suite in order to use Bartender Cloud?
No, not at all. Yeah, there's no need to install the Bartender suite on your computer. if you do have it installed, you could use cloud at the same time. It's not going to cause any hiccup or anything. That is what we call a hybrid solution. There are customers out there that are running on-prem and are not wanting to expose their on-prem to their vendors or suppliers, and they leverage cloud for something like that. Um, there is no problem running both of them at the same time.
Awesome. Also, as far as installation, where is the printer gateway service installed?
Very good question. The gateway can be installed on one computer if your IT department finds it suitable. They install it in one print server, and then that print server is the one that connects to all of the printers. Or it could be a scenario where each individual computer has it installed that is basically doing printing, right? So you could have multiple gateways or you could have one gateway. It really depends on how you would want to design your architecture around Bartender Cloud, right?
Awesome. No, thank you.
Mhm.
We have a question regarding RFID. Can RFID labels be created in the cloud?
Yes, it can, 100%. And I could switch over if we have time, right? I'm not sure if we do to show them, but it's,
We
yeah.
still have a lot of attendees here. If you feel comfortable sharing a little bit more about RFID, I'm sure that they'd be happy to learn more about it.
Yeah, let me go back to my screen here. I'm gonna have to reopen Designer for a second. It's loading right now. Shouldn't be a problem. So it's very if you know if you've used Bartender on-prem for RFID, it's no different in the cloud. That's just the coolest thing. You think about it, I'm encoding from the cloud to an RFID printer. I think that's pretty darn cool, right? So the first thing you would have to go is after an RFID printer. Now this could become interesting because you see all of the printers I have available. I should put in a feature request for this where I know, hey, I'm looking for ones, but obviously we are going to use this one is RFID capable, and it's okay if it's the copy. I need to use an RFID. That's the first thing, right? You need to use an RFID printer. It has to have the capability. Once you now connect it to an RFID printer, the tag, you could see the tag here. That could be EPC or ISO. This is what I typically see that our customer base is using. Then it's basically passing the right data for it. We are able to leverage data type as well. So let's say it's SG1096, and then we have the filter value of the company. This is what's going to encode here. The SG1096 is going to be the EPC. And then, basically close. Now I'm able to leverage a barcode here when I say compact that. And then, some data sources and RFID. Now, notice that the RFID is okay. There's nothing red with it. So it means it's going to encode properly. And now it's more of printing, right? And that's pretty much it. Obviously, you want to probably connect it to, in this case, I'm going to say, this is my RFID printer. I could have done that instead of looking in that list. Um, but simply print that. So yeah, that's how easy it is to connect an RFID and encode. That might be connected to a spreadsheet. That might be connected to an Excel file. That might be connected to a SQL Azure database. The idea is that as long as you're passing the right data to the RFID chip, that is what Bartender is going to encode. It will let you know if there's something going on with it. Hope that helped answer the question.
No, that was great. Thank you, Roberto. Let's see. I know we're a
I,
few
I
minutes.
did I did see one for spaces, and I want to touch that a bit. So
Oh, yes.
what spaces allows you to do is create a different environment from your main folder. And it's really cool. So you think about when they asked me about production environment, QA environments. this is how you're going to accomplish that. You might say, I want to create a QA environment to test out labels and the gateway before I put them into the main folder, which is my production folder. That is the idea with spaces, right? Allowing you to create a space, allowing you to change permissions in a space, making sure that only the right people are using your space. And overall, allows you to segregate labels and users for a specific task within the organization. Okay?
Awesome. No, thank you. I know that that was another question regarding
Mhm.
the interface. While we're also kind of on the topic too, I mean there's a several questions too about just migrating from on-prem to cloud. And as far as though for those who are interested in moving from the on-premise software to cloud, I definitely would recommend that you get in touch. With your authorized bartender reseller, or if you do not have one, please feel free to connect with our Siegel sales team, who is more than happy to help you outline the process for getting yourself moved from on-prem over to cloud, including your label templates. But as Roberto showed, and Roberto, feel free to chime in. But your bartender BTW files for your label templates can be moved from the on-premise solution to bartender cloud with ease.
Oh yes, 100%. That's the idea, right? You're not limited to the on-prem now that we have cloud. You could simply say cloud upload. I have a folder dedicated for stuff like this. So let's say file, and then I want to upload a couple files. And simple as that. Now, there might be a couple files that don't upload because look at this one. A folder cannot be uploaded because starts with. So it has containing specific things that Cloud does not like. So you probably have to go and change the name on it. Now, one thing is if you upload a label that's connected to an on-prem database, it's not going to go up to the cloud because cloud doesn't have the capability of connecting to an on-prem database, only cloud databases, or if it's using an action that is printing or, and I'm sorry, not printing, an action that is doing a file action, for example, write to file, copy file, move to file, that label wouldn't work. Same thing I'm seeing, for from going to an older version like 10 and going to cloud, those are lots of things that we need to cover because Infor, for example, I know you're using file drop and we leverage only REST API within the cloud. So with cloud, we have the capability of using API to push data to the cloud. So your integration method will change drastically from file drop to REST API. Those are things that you need to talk with your reseller. Bring us into this phone call. We are happy to help you get from 10 to cloud or whatever on-prem version. You are not on your own. We have a professional services team that could help with this as well. But it's more of understanding the whole scenario. Before we tell you, yeah, go to cloud. I want you to be successful. So getting us involved will help you be successful. Okay. But labels can be migrated to the cloud. It is per case. Some situations that you are going to have to modify them a bit, but overall, there shouldn't be a problem.
Awesome. Uh, so we're 10 minutes over time, and I know that we can go on for hours here, but unfortunately, we do need to wrap up here. But so I'm gonna just take the share back, Roberto.
Please
But
go ahead,
again,
Ryan.
uh, I just want to again thank everyone for joining us today. We had a great pre walkthrough of Bartender Cloud, as you all saw, and I hope you are just excited about the cloud solution as much as we are. But if you would like to get in touch with us, oh, I apologize. There we go. But if you're interested in learning more about Bartender Cloud or getting started with cloud, please connect with your either authorized bartender reseller or the Siegel sales team, and we're more than happy to help you, especially if you're interested in migrating from software to cloud as well. We also have some additional resources for you to learn more. This is going to be included in the presentation that will be shared with you later. But again, that's all we have time for today. Please stay tuned for more of these Getting Started with Bartender webinars, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for you, Ryan, Stacy. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.